Jesus, bro. Now you're probably wondering why I'm talking about a film that wasn't shown in theaters, as far as I know, and came out in early 2017, in this late 2017 / early 2018, depending on when this actually comes up. Well, I was making my top whatever list of this year, and I wanted to put this on there because it came out this year. And it's weird, it turns out, like, there's films on the computer that didn't have to be on the cinema. It's weird. Jesus Bro tells the story of a guy called the Rickhead, who does an internet show where, as far as I can tell, he just shouts and insults people. Just come to think of it, that's most of YouTube. After a near-death experience, he's approached by Santa Christ, because this was partly produced by Channel Awesome, just roll with it, and asks him to spread the good word of the Lord, but is held back by the evil atheists. It's very difficult to talk about this film without talking about the guy who made it. This was written by Brad Jones, also known as the Cinema Snob. Both for that show and for his other show, Midnight Screenings, he's talked a lot in the past about religious exploitation films. You know, films like God's Not Dead and Old Fashioned and War Room. Films that are clearly trying to pander to a Christian-based audience, and in the process kind of come across as horrible. You know what I mean? The kind of thing where the Christians are all brave and heroic and everyone else are just corrupt and evil and don't understand the world. But hey, maybe Jesus will show them the light and they'll come over to the good side. Or you could just kill them off. So Jesus Bro is basically a spoof of these type of movies. And that draws the question, is this a good spoof or a bad spoof? Sadly, I don't think it's a good spoof. Let me give you an example. Check out this scene.
Me to get the word out to my followers. I don't know.
You get the joke? Watch it one more time.
Me to get the word out to my followers. I don't know.
Now see, this doesn't work because it's just a reference to another film. And without the proper context, it just looks like two people talking behind mugs while their voices are dubbed in. Oh, I could tell you what this is a reference to, but the fact that I need to is kind of the point.
Now, spoof movies can work better if the jokes aren't reliant on knowing the reference. Take, for example, the scene from Scary Movie where the main character is spinning around shouting, "What are you waiting for?" to the killer where they don't know where he is, accidentally prompting this guy to jump off the building and crush her. Now, I liked this when I was a teenager despite not seeing the film it was based on because it works as its own scene. And truth be told, the writer of this, Brad Jones, has done parody a lot better in the past. If you see his animated series Lloyd, he makes a lot of references to films that he's reviewed as the Cinema Snob. The difference being that you don't need to get the reference in order to get the joke.
No, it's being awake 14 hours on a plane with two alien brothers screaming each other's name, even though they've already found each other.
You don't need to have seen the film Yuki to understand why this character is annoying and why the main character hates him. And unfortunately there's a lot of jokes like that in this film, where it's just kind of based on a reference. If you know the reference, great, but it can be kind of isolating to a lot of people who haven't seen the source material. But thankfully, it's saved by a lot of the performances in this. People like Doug Walker and Fard Mohammed give great performances in this, with kind of mostly playing it straight with occasional bursts of craziness. Yeah, I think they just kind of let the Doug loose on that last part. And I'm gonna say, this is probably the funniest that Rob Walker as Santa Christ has ever been. Other people like Alison Pregler and Brad Jones really carry these characters because of their performances. I mean, the joke with Alison Pregler's character is that she's speaking in a lot of exposition, which again, is another reference. But there's something about the way she says it, just like how brightly she smiles and just how happy she is about it. It's something about it just kind of makes it work as its own thing, where I don't feel like you need to get the reference to understand that this person's just overly perky and likes to speak in exposition. You got Brad Jones as a character who's, again, based on another film, namely Old Fashioned, a film that apparently I'm not allowed an opinion on according to the guy who made this film, but it's all told for his performance, just like how crazy he can make this guy look. At times I forgot that this was another reference. It's completely carried by how crazy he can make this character. I also really like the story in this and just how unpredictable it was. Or at least it should be, except it turns out that Brad kind of gave away the ending in one of his video stingers. Fortunately, I was either an idiot who wasn't paying attention or completely forgot that, so I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say that it takes like a sharp left turn or anything, it just takes such like a bizarre direction that I honestly didn't predict that this was going to happen. Again, so long as you forgot the spoiler he gave in one of his videos. And on top of that, I really like the message behind this. See, the writer of this talks a lot about these religious exploitation films because he feels that they are teaching bad morals. So he took those ideas, turned it into a comedy, and actually gave a very thought-provoking message. It's not hateful or spiteful, it's very compassionate and well-meaning, which is more than I can say for other films. It's as Jesus would have wanted. So, going to the final rundown. A lot of the comedy feels too based on knowing the reference, but is saved by a lot of the performances. And on top of that, a story where I didn't see where it was going at the end, and a very nice message behind the whole thing. That leads me to give this film a 7 out of 10. Or if you know the films that this film is referencing, or know the Cinema Snob show in general, then chances are this is going to bump it up to an 8 out of 10. It kind of depends on where you're coming from. You can rent or buy the film in the links down below, and hopefully I can spotlight some more independent stuff in the future. Maybe I'll talk about Laser Team 2 when YouTube Red lets people in the UK actually watch it. But until then, that officially wraps up 2017 and on to the next year. I can't wait to disappoint you some more. Take care now, bye bye then.